Thank you for tuning in to No Flag Radio. I'm your host, P. Back at it, this shit. Today we talking about Mitch MCConnell embarrassing himself trying to down reparations. So let me run to a few screens here as I open up the topic here. Put that up in the Chizat. Make sure I knew how to spell. Yeah, I knew how to spell. So, what happened, or what we saw over the past week, and one thing that I've noticed, and I'm sure that we're all going to notice moving forward, is that different parts of society want to try to downplay reparations with these abrupt promotions of non-payment. And I want us to watch this because they're going to keep doing this shit, these abrupt promotions of non-payment as we go along. I want us to develop a sort of a thick skin, sort of iron cast stomach to the shit quick and early, so we're not always getting into an emotional tailspin over the shit every time they pull these abrupt promotions of non-payment type shit with us, right? You understand? With their HR 40 think tanks and all that shit, which I don't doubt they're going to continue making more of those. I mean, mainstreaming these laughing stock ass think tanks and shit, right? And with what we saw this week with Mitch MCConnell and Mike Johnson, these little blips that these political figures are putting up, these little sound bites of suspect white supremacists in government and coon ass niggas in government down talking reparations, right? Money to ADOS only. And they're doing it to sort of prime all the rest of society who don't necessarily subscribe to new black media into thinking negatively about reparations. But, you know, what we say is even if they think negatively about reparations, that shit don't matter. That's what lobbyism is for. To get past all the negative thinking walls and just skip past all they shit, right? Which is why I promote that on my channel. I'll keep touching on that. But Mitch MCConnell, if y'all not aware, he has some racist white supremacist statements to make about reparations for ADOS. And just looking at his history, you can tell he's a white supremacist. Y'all know his family was Irish immigrants. They immigrated into the South. And, you know, he was born in Alabama, but his family is like, he grew up in Georgia and shit. He's a part of that Phi Kappa Alpha fraternity that I've talked about before, that racist white supremacist fraternity that's always getting caught up in the news, doing blackface and putting nooses on this and that, nooses and all that shit, right? He's a part of that, so he's a part of a racist white supremacist group already. And the first time he's uttered one word about reparations in all of his career since 1985 is some old Hayden ass shit, right? Which is no surprise given his background. In the 90s, he put all these bills into proposition to protect cops and all this shit. Oh, let me get to the chat real quick. I see Still Learning in the chat. What up, Still Learning? How you doing, Still Learning? You said you was going to pop up. I believed you. There you go. There you are. Good to see you. But he's a part of when he was a part of the Senate in Kentucky, and we put all these bills into proposition for like protecting the cops, and old cops need more protection was kind of his through line, right? Basically, his bills were saying whatever a cop say at a crime scene or at an investigation, whatever the cops say in an investigation, they're protected in the investigation process. Like whatever a cop says in an investigation goes type shit. He was adamant about bringing these bills forth, these law enforcement, what did he call them? Bill of Rights, Law Enforcement Bill of Rights Acts, right? To protect the cops. Kept putting that to the Senate in his state, right? In 1996, he came with that Marijuana Penalty Act, like an enhanced Marijuana Penalty Act. So, that's just criminalizing marijuana sort of thing. And that bill and then other bills that he did in that kind of vein, they didn't pass, but with the bills that came before, that we're familiar with, like the 88 crime bill and Joe Biden's 94 crime bill, those are both Joe Biden's bills. Shit, it basically already did. The shit that he was trying to push basically already did pass. McConnell was just trying to put more extras on it, trying to put double work on criminalizing non-lethal offenses and letting police get off and basically do what they want to do in an investigation of a crime, right? And basically layering on to all those drug laws that were a part of that war on drugs that wholly affected the black community disproportionately. Just real nasty, nasty motherfucking laws, right? But he's showing he's trying to pay into that slavery by incarceration. So he's on white supremacist code, is my point. But let's look into the meat of his comments about reparations. I want to dissect a few things. He first says that we tried to deal, let me just read the whole thing. Where's it at? He says, matter of fact, let me change some screens around since I got the chat up already. Let me do this real fast, right fast. Let's get a picture of Mitch Mcconnell up here real quick. Let's get him up here. There the boy go. Motherfucking turtle face looking motherfucker. There's so many turtle memes. I tried to find the Yertle the turtle. I'm gonna probably change the thumbnail to find like a Yertle the turtle. Any turtle will do for this motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? He looked like a fucking turtle, man. There is no mistake about that. You need glasses if you think that he don't look like no fucking turtle in the face. But his comments, he says, we tried to deal with our original sin of slavery by fighting a civil war, by passing landmark civil rights legislation, elected an African American president, and I don't think we should be trying to figure out how to compensate for it. First of all, it would be hard to figure out whom to compensate. Lies. Nope. The Civil War was fought to keep one part of the country from taking its economy of black slave, everything, black slave labor, black slave wealth hoarding, away from the other part of the country who wanted that shit to exist and wanted in on the spoils of it too. Period. I want to break down all of what he said because it just falls on his face at so many junctures. I want to make sure that we have a running conscience about it on my channel. But no, that shit called the Civil War, it was fought because one side was big dogging the other side with the clout it was making from slavery. The South felt it was strong enough to disconnect from America completely because black people helped the South clout up so motherfucking well. All right? And the other side, the North, who also clouded up very well, they didn't want the South, who was making all these ill-gotten gains from uncompensated black labor. They didn't want all of that to be made unavailable to the North. All the money that they was making from that and all the byproducts of that to be made unavailable to the North, because the North was using all that production capital. I'm talking about like cotton, I'm talking about indigo, I'm talking about raw goods. It was using all of that shit and running it into their fabric districts. They had an They still got a big fabric district in New York. I mean, running it into the textile mills, running it into their money markets, Wall Street, all this shit, right? And the North, they didn't want to disconnect from that wealth, all right? So nope, Mitch McConnell, Civil War was not fought in no way to deal with slavery, or as he calls the sin of slavery. You think by sliding in the word sin that people are going to say, oh, he knows it's a bad. Nah, bitch. Nah, you a devil on some devil shit. Shut the fuck up. Right? But it was fought so both sides of the war could relish in it, not just one side of it. I mean, not just one side of the whole black robbing expedition. They wanted both sides to relish in it. They said, well, fuck it. We're going to throw a tantrum and fight. So if one of them want to relish in it, but the other one can't, damn it, we're going to fight. And that was the knowledge behind this shit, okay? He said reparations was achieved by passing landmark civil rights legislation. That was his second affirmation, right? And nope, civil rights did not cut a check. Period. It didn't cut a check for nobody black. Civil rights is not a check that addresses America's ground state black wealth lockout. You understand? Reparations was actually an afterthought of the civil rights movement. If you know anything about the civil rights movement, Mitch McConnell, all right, MLK spoke about reparations around the same year that the Civil Rights Law 64 passed, the same year. I'm not sure whether he spoke about it before or after, but during the same year, it wasn't 64 when he made that sentiment about reparations and all of that. He spoke up on it around 64, same year, but he didn't put no extraordinary wheels on the aspect of make a check show up, right? And we live in a world where it's fuck of civil rights, anything. Even with the civil rights in place, motherfucker, a white person can call the police on a black person and civil rights and constitutional rights are violated on a motherfucking whim. So no, civil rights is not reparations. Mitch McConnell. Bitch McConnell. Okay? He act like the civil rights law, what came out of that was something substantial. It was civil rights and then like labor law where you couldn't discriminate based on race, creed, nationality, religion, all that shit. But, motherfucker, that shit helped out everybody. It wasn't a check to us. You understand? Well, let me get to the, I'm tired of looking at Yertle on the screen. Let me get to the Chizat. I see Still Learning Beast in the chat. Okay. Let me get to the other screen where I can see who's all in this month. Did you know there was a massive... I'm reading some screens from the, I'm reading the screen, my chat screen right fast, y'all. Still Learning says, did you know there was a massive immigration reform influx right around the time so-called civil rights were being passed? Massive immigration reform influx. Or massive immigration reform and a massive immigration influx. I wouldn't be surprised, Still Learning. I wouldn't be surprised. So they already knew what they were doing back then, planting the seed to replace ADOS. Yeah, I mean, and it goes back even further into early in the 20th century with all kinds of legislation for Asians and giving them rights to own land and all this shit. Building up that model minority class has always been a long-term goal of America after black folk were emancipated from chattel slavery. That's been a big thing. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if there was another influx, another wash of immigrant movement. I wouldn't be surprised at all. Still Learning. Still Learning also says, yep, the North needed to defund the South, and that's why slavery was abolished. Yeah. Yeah, true indeed. So yeah, I want to get to the rest of his comments. What else did Mitch McConnell say? Oh yeah, he said he says we elected Obama. We got Obama in the house. We paid for the sins of slavery by electing Obama. If that's not some white supremacist blabbering, I don't know what is. Him alluding to Obama as being some sort of reparations. That's just senile old racist talk. That's all that is. That's senile old white racist drunkard talk. He might be, Mitch McConnell, he might just be sipping on that bottle this week when they asked him about this shit. He's the Irish motherfucker. They got that stigma of being some lush-headed motherfuckers. He might have been drunk when he said that. You know what I mean? But that's just senile babble, y'all. That's what the fuck that is. Obama and what's the chick, Hillary, they both said specifically they are not for reparations for black people. Game, point, set, match on that shit. So what else is there to discuss? What he meant to say was, and this is how I'm thinking that he was trying to kick it. It was like, the fact that Obama had black skin, because he had black skin, me being an old white male, that's my trigger when I'm looking at a presidential seat. If I see black skin in the presidential seat, because I'm an old white racist male, that's my trigger, right? So therefore, just him being around, just Obama being around and creating anxiety, creating the anxiety that he's created within racist white supremacist circles off of his skin color alone, the motherfucking audacity that I place on him having black skin, because it causes me so much anxiety within me that a president has black skin, the value that me and my racist white supremacists place on that should no doubt translate to black people as being worth the trillions of damn dollars that ADOS are owed. We racists hate black skin color so much. He's on some shit like, we hate black skin color to the extent that the fact that he was placed there is a testament to all the black ancestors that we killed, all the black towns that we bombed, all the stifling of black society socially, politically, economically that we've done. The fact that he lived and we didn't assassinate him. You know what I mean? That's what he's kicking, right? The fact that we didn't assassinate him while inside of black skin. That's what he want to say. That's just send a signal to you Negroes that white supremacist society is better. We're better in dealing with our Negroes. That's what he's kicking. And the fact that we didn't kill him, the fact that we didn't bomb your Negro towns and your cities because he was in office, that should be enough, not payment. That's what he meant to say. All right. The fact that Obama wasn't killed, your black gratefulness to that should make you blacks say, okay, we're not owed trillions of dollars that we're owed. Like, no. You old and you finna die, bitch McConnell, and bitch die. That's all I gotta say, you know what I mean? I'm staying within the confines of YouTube from that. I'm not saying go and kill, no. I'm just saying on my channel, we don't say go and, we just say die, motherfucker. Bitch, die. Die, though. You know what I'm saying? But Obama, nah, he was in no way at all a cog in our wheel toward reparations. Obama didn't do shit but ingratiate himself with the worst parts of white society. He tried his best to make people like Mitch McConnell feel motherfucking good, quite frankly, if you check his fucking resume. Y'all remember he had dinner with that, Pals of Paraphernalia. Yo, I'm looking at the chat. What up, Pals of Paraphernalia? Pals of Paraphernalia says, Mitch needs to stop snorting cocaine. He needs to stop snorting something. You know, something. He Irish, man, so he might be just drunk every ounce of his day. You know how it is. If you ever been around like alcoholic motherfuckers, man, fiended out motherfuckers, alcoholic motherfuckers, you know, in particular, alcoholic motherfuckers, man, you know, you can reach a point in alcohol consumption that's just how you are. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like, if you an alky motherfucker, man, right? That's just where you are. Like, day in, day out. You can have a bottle in your hand and no. That's just how the fuck you are. After a while, you just drink and drink and drink like a motherfucking fish, right? So yeah, yeah. Yeah, still learning to say, yeah, he be on that stuff. Real light, real tough. Uh-huh. But let's check Obama resume. I mean, we talk about Obama being the first black president, as they say, but you know, we already know we're talking about the Continental Congress, we're talking about the Articles of Confederation, we're talking about under what paperwork is he the first? Under what paperwork is he the first, right? That's been my argument, right? Under what? Articles of Confederation? What are you talking about? What are we talking about? But we know that Obama ain't do shit but kiss white ass. The worst parts of white society. He went and found them and went to go kiss their ass. People like Mitch McConnell was my point. He had dinner with that race soldier motherfucker that ran up and basically went race soldier on that professor. I forget his name, but the dude was trying to break into his own house. I guess he got locked out of his spot. And Obama went and had a beer with the motherfucker. I say dinner. He motherfucker had beer with this motherfucker, man. Invited him to the White House. Right? You know what I mean? So Obama, he's been a soft hand. He's been a soft hat for a long time. He's been a soft hat. His whole career wasn't about pressing white society. His whole career was about calming white people's guilt and not exposing what they are guilty of in terms of them all getting on code to institute black wealth lockout. So if we're talking reparations, I mean, that's what he contributed. He didn't want to expose none of that guilty shit. He didn't want to put none of that on Front Street. And white people even seen it. They had the guy Chris Matthews, he came out and was like, look, man, Obama, he don't got no concept of the history of slavery. And all the bad stuff that happened, it's not there with this guy. He don't understand none of it. Basically saying that Obama ain't cut from the drama. You know what I mean? He ain't cut from we black society, white society, banging on us. At the same time, enlisting motherfuckers from other groups to fuck with us, chipping them off, enlisting other people to fuck with us, everybody fucking with us. And then we having to make it out of that. Obama don't feel that. You know what I mean? So yeah, he ain't the motherfucker like that. More than that, Mitch MCConnell in particular, if you want to talk about Obama was our reparations, he single-handedly damn blocked everything Obama put up during his term. The major shit like the net neutrality, y'all remember that? He blocked that shit. That's where, internet service providers usually would have, no way to really show favoritism to what they blocked or what particular sites they blocked or what particular products they blocked from being sold. He snatched that out the sky, you know what I mean? The Affordable Care Act, you know what I mean? That's obvious, right? 2015, 2014, he was talking about blocking it, repealing it, replacing it, blocking it, repealing it, replacing it, that whole shit. Now here recently, 2019, now that Trump in office, he's like, oh, well, we don't want to really do much with it. We still trying to think. We still trying to leave certain things to the states. We still we don't want to replace it all the way. We don't want to, we don't want to all the way repeal it. So now that Trump is in office, just people how he done changed his whole tune now. Now he's dragging his feet. So he was making race-based power plays against Obama. Just because it was Obama. You understand? So somebody like that don't got the right to spin around and tell me, by the way, he was your reparations. When you blocked his legislation, motherfucker, you blocked everything he put up to help anybody. It wasn't just about black folk. He was trying to help everybody with his shit because he wasn't caring about black people. He's trying to help everybody. And you blocking that shit. You blocking everything he put up to help anybody about anything. So like I said, he's making race-based power plays while he's in a seat in Congress. And that shit is obvious. He was kicking that What else was he kicking when he was in office? He was kicking that, Obama is trying to take your Second Amendment rights. Let me get another picture of this motherfucker up while I'm looking at him, man. Let me do this. The beer, the beer summit. Yeah, the beer summit. Palace of Paraphernalia is talking about they had a beer summit. Hold up, somebody got a long comment up there. I wanna read it because I mean, if you typing all that shit, it's got to be meaningful. They found a gang of cocaine on some of his wife's family's shipping slips. You mean to say shipping slips or shipping ships? Shipping ships. Oh, so he got ships on lock, right? Okay. He at the motherfucking port coming into the country, but they don't blast him on that. Look it up. I will. Palace Paraphernalia. I wouldn't be surprised. Type in cocaine Mitch and the whole story pop up. Wouldn't even not believe that shit. I would not believe it. Yo, let me put up this picture. Look at his big ass nose. Them cocaine nostrils right there, man. That's cocaine nostril city. I mean, it's cocaine nostril city. You know what I mean? I tried to pull up the most turtle looking photo I could find this motherfucker, man. But now that you say it, man, it's like, yeah, I can see the residue. I can see the shit up his nose. His fucking nose hole so blown the fuck open, man. Yeah. Mitch, catch that drain, McConnell. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Fucking cokehead. I wouldn't be surprised in no way. You know what I'm saying? Cocaine Mitch. I wouldn't be surprised. I'm gonna look that shit up, bro. Just like you said, man. I'm gonna check it out. But like I said, man, he was kicking all this racist, white supremacist, militia coded language, talking that we're not gonna let nobody take your gun rights, your Second Amendment rights type of shit. He was kicking that when Obama was in office. You know what I mean? Anybody sitting up talking that government finna come and take our guns, that's white supremacist militia talk. Anybody with common sense know that if the United States government would take your guns, they could take your guns. They show up to your door with a fucking tank, with the tank right at your front door. You know what I'm saying? They'll show up with the gunships right on your the little coastline or wherever you live at. And they'll just deploy, motherfucker. They'll deploy the tanks. They'll drop the tanks from out the sky, out the airplanes, if they want to take your fucking guns, man. What the fuck? It ain't nothing you could do about it if that's what's going on. So this is that white supremacist fantasy I was talking about somebody coming and taking their fucking gun. That shit ain't happening. And if it's happening, you'll know it's happening. It ain't nobody just, hey, we're gonna strike down a lot. Nah, motherfucker, they want to physically take your guns. Motherfucker, they ain't finna go door to door asking, bitch. Where's the common sense in that? You got the biggest military in the world. You finna go asking, motherfucker? Nah. So he's frothing that type of shit up, kicking that Obama's trying to take your Second Amendment rights type shit, speaking white supremacist militia language. You know what I mean? So he's on code with white supremacist rhetoric. Even though all these massacres and shit going on, he want to run that Obama gonna take your gun. You know, when that shit happened in Orlando at that club, what happened? Club got shot up. Motherfucker, all of these senators, a few senators started putting up bills to try to address, you know, these high-powered, high-capacity gun laws. And what was he saying? Nah, fuck it, nah, it don't call for all that. No. This is Mitch McConnell, all right? When the shit happened in Vegas with, what's his guy? Stephen Paddock, the guy that shot up 50 people out in Vegas. What was he doing? He was kicking that, well, we want to wait. You know, the investigation is still going on. We want to wait before we, you know, make any kind of laws or anything. We just want to wait. We want the investigation process to take place. Okay, that's Mitch McConnell. Oh, let me pull up one more picture. I want y'all to see this about Mitch McConnell. Did I put this picture up? Let me see if I can find. I want to put up another picture about Mitch McConnell just so y'all can know who he run with. What y'all to miss? No, that's something else. Median value of household wealth. I got so many pictures. Hold up, y'all. I'm gonna find it. I'm gonna find it, and when I do find it, y'all be the first to know. I know I saved it. Where did I put it? I don't know. You know, I might put it in the thumbnail. It was just a picture of him at one of these. Just a picture of Mitch McConnell at one of these PACs, one of these conservative PACs, back in 2014, and he's holding up this big ass goddamn fucking bear shooting ass rifle and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, yeah. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Showing who he run with in terms of the PAC, as far as the political action committees. You know what I mean? These lobby groups, showing who he run with. He run with the gun nuts, all right? That's his thing. Let me get back to this. I just wanted to show that, but his oh yeah, Pals of Paraphernalia says his Chinese wife has a hookup out of Vietnam. She may. I've seen her. I've seen her pictures. I didn't put it up, but I've seen her. It's like, all right, he's one of these white dudes that's just out here white fucking. He said, fuck it. I mean, he out here, I'm saying white fucking. He out here Asian fucking. She out here pink dick chasing. She look young. She look way, way young too. So it's like, all right, that's a money ploy in effect, right? Yeah, like a young looking Asian chick still learning. You know what I mean? So that's strange for a turtle looking motherfucker like him. Like, all right, but I guess you got paper. He got paper, so it's like, all right, you pull him what he want to pull. But back to my point, y'all. So for him to be kicking that notion that Obama was reparations, back to my point, how was Obama allowed to repair black society and you blocking all of his movements, just rubber stamping a no on everything he got and everything he wanted to do? Obama didn't even like the people that were old reparations. You know what I mean? He don't even like the motherfuckers that are old reparations. He's a Kenyan nigga. He a Kenyan motherfucker who didn't want to help American blacks in any way. So how is he our reparations? This is my point. He a Kenyan reparations nigga, not ours. Right? But what else did he say? He did say also, nobody owns slaves today. That was another point. And it's a flat out lie when you discuss slavery by incarcerations and the trillions of dollars that companies make from that out of a prison system that's biased towards locking up black people for a long time for non-violent shit. Okay. All right. I mean, so that's one point. That's all I got to say about that. We got to continue to tell, and just keep that as a running narrative as well, that, you're lying about that, about nobody owning slaves today. Hell no. If you're propping up any institution that depends on native black wealth lockout in order to exist, that's motherfucking group specific targeted slavery. Period. And Mitch McConnell, he represented Kentucky, but like I said, his family, they moved to GA. He grew up in Georgia. And Georgia, that's a state that has very much slavery ass prison system out there. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's one of those states. Georgia is like one of the states that, like, if you in the prison system, you making $0 a day for your work. And I think Arkansas is like another state, if I'm not mistaken. So that was his environment. You know what I mean? That was his environment coming up, was watching black people have to be enslaved. You understand? So all of that nobody owns a slave today is crap. I mean, come the fuck on. You sitting in the hotbed of it, motherfucker. Whole corporations own slaves. Period. All right, so I'm saying that. So yeah. What else did he say? Oh, the last part, which was just so ridiculous. We all know the famous line, it's hard to determine who to pay. Right? And again, nope. The whole fucking world know that the 1870 census was the first one that black people were counted in after the emancipation, such and so forth happened, right? So if you're in that census, you owe reparations. If you were in that 1860 census, you were a free black. They counted you, right? So I repeat, this shit is easy to tell who's who. So no, Mitch McConnell, you just a racist out here lying is who you are, Mitch McConnell. No other group, I just want to say, no other group don't got this type of press back and pushback against them like us when it comes to when they wanted reparations. The Jews, the Japanese, nobody got this kind of pushback. Nobody. Czechoslovakians, all these different groups who could set up shop and just ask for money. Nobody got this kind of pushback except us. That's why we need reparations. It shows the aversion to us getting what we deserve and just the aversion to being just to us, America's ground state blacks, is so entrenched in politics with people walking around like Mitch McConnell and the motherfucker Mike Johnson, that motherfucker. You understand? This shit is so entrenched. So it's a different world for us than it is for all these other groups. And we got to keep making that plain and laying that flat. And we in a different world, you know what I'm saying? The Japanese, when they got their little reparations or whatever from the internment camp situation, it was the 80s, man. It wasn't no internet around to where 24/7 you getting imbued with all the sentiments of motherfuckers who are hating on your group all day. You know what I mean? They kind of went under the radar. I mean, they got a chance to do their shit in the quiet, is what I'm saying. You feel me? Like, they wasn't getting 24/7 listening to the rednecks and listening to the politicians get their little sound bites in every day. You know what I mean? Nobody talking anti-Asian reparations, anti-Japanese reparations in the comments all day on social media, every day. Every day you're hearing from a bunch of motherfuckers that are oppositional to you, telling you what they think about your reparations. Rednecks every day, typing what they think about reparations every day. You know what I'm saying? It's a different thing fucking with us, right? So we're in a different sphere, is my point. We just need to handle it. That's why, that's why these other groups, they are a good example of what to do still. And in spite of that shit, get the lobbyists and get to moving. That's why we need to get the lobbyists and get to moving. That's what worked for the Japanese. That's what worked for the Jews. And I presented these cases to y'all before. I did that work for y'all. So I'm saying this is what's necessary. This is why we need to be on it. But I did this video just as a means for us to kind of see what it is, see how the shakeup has been after this, fraud ass HR 40 behavior. Watching that, right? And then just seeing how the energy play with the other non-HR 40 part of society, the motherfuckers that's going to come in hating, and it's basically kind of orient our mind state to where we're not all the way up in arms about it, but to where we can at least have a bead on what it is they coming with. Like, that's, you're going to kick the same little 1 or 2, 5 little points. You're going to talk about Obama. You're going to talk about we shed blood in the Civil War. You're going to talk about the civil rights. I want us to have these talking points down so it ain't shit to really bring to a motherfucker that's going to bring it up in the future, because they come to the same grab bag. They got the same white supremacist bag that they dig in when it comes to rebuttaling a simple term, a simple word that we bring called reparations, cash reparations. And then they go to that same grab bag. So I want to just, systematically, I think, I guess either word will, systemically, fuck it. every time they say some bullshit, I want us to have something to bang on them with. Is how I'm thinking it out, right? Let me go to the chat since we've been on it. I know people. Okay, what up, Zaire? Just seeing you in the chat, man. What up, bro? What's good, man? Japanese, Jews, Irish, Italians, yeah, just listing all these different reparative groups. Yeah, we see that. They're purposely trying to overcomplicate things, real life. That's from Still Learning. 9/11 victims got it too. Yeah, I can give a damn about 9/11 victims. I give a damn about 9/11 victims like that. You know what I mean? And that's just what it is. Because we went through worse than 9/11 victims. We went through worse than the Jews. We went through worse than the Japanese. Period. We were cooked and eaten. We were tarred and feathered. I don't want to hear shit about a 9/11 victim. I don't want to hear shit about no Jew-ish person, right? I want to hear shit about no Japanese. You understand? And we were robbed. And we were robbed, okay? We were not only cooked and eaten, tarred and feathered, lynched, we were also robbed. I don't want to hear shit about nobody. I don't give a fuck about nobody unless they my people. I don't give a fuck about nobody unless they my people. You know what I'm saying? That's just the real of the whole matter. Let me go through the other part of the chat where I can see. Should I take calls today? I mean, I got the number down here. Should I take calls today? I didn't plan on taking calls today, but I mean, if y'all want to call in, should I take calls? Y'all let me know. I might take a few. Zaire with that till this day. You keep throwing up till this day. Yeah, that shit had me rolling. I ain't been on social media like Twitter and none of that. You know, I'm off Twitter, man. Like they banned me from Twitter for being within the rules of Twitter. You know how it is. You be within the rules of Twitter and they ban you type shit, right? But I'm sure they running mad circles with that fucking till this day shit. I'm sure they running mileage with that shit. Ismail Muhammad in the house. What's good, man? He says, and we're under extermination campaign right now. Native blacks, period. Fuck everybody else. Yep. Okay, that's all good. It's all good. Still learning. Say I wish I call in, but I'm working. It's all good. I mean, y'all got it. I ain't finna tie y'all up. I didn't plan on taking no calls today, but you know, I'll definitely do some call in. I don't know. It depends on how long the cast go tomorrow. I'm gonna do my cast on the Latinos and how they owe on reparations, just in case they try to weasel their way out. I'm touching on all the groups that be silent and act like they just being all angelic somewhere sitting. Nah, let me go get that up out you. Give it here. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Don't forget to hit that like button. Don't forget to hit that notification bell. Oh, I want to say something, y'all. Damn. You know, I'm sure this was a very pleasant cast today. I know y'all didn't hear that. Blue, 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 blue. God damn, that's just like the soundtrack to hell. I'm glad that I made my runs and got my little nano mouse and shit. No more of the sensitive ass mouse. That shit sound like a motherfucker getting mad points in Mario or some shit. No more of the Mario point sounding ass mouse. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so y'all will be enjoying nice and normal ass cast now. Glad I handled that shit. Ismail Muhammad says that minority bullshit is talking about everybody else but us. Yep. That's the key in the game to the shit for everybody else. Once they hear minority, they can all walk underneath that goddamn, what they call it, limbo wire. They can all fit under that limbo wire. While we ain't even in limbo. We ain't playing limbo. We somewhere, we playing horseshoes on the goddamn beach, and everybody else is limboing underneath that goddamn limbo stick on the beach. You understand? We ain't even included in the damn plate. We ain't even in the plate. We ain't even getting the plate where they feeding at. I ain't real life. Still Learning says you have awesome, constructive, informative commentaries. Thank you, Still Learning. Yeah, I go for that. You know, I throw my points up and, you know, I just, I go for what I know. People of color is another word. Yeah, okay. Real life, Ishmael Muhammad. But yeah, like I was saying, thank y'all for tuning in, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Don't forget to hit that like button. Don't forget to press that notification bell, so you know when I'm dropping. Don't forget to check out my Teespring. Got some more shit coming sooner than you want to think. Some new shit, you know what I'm saying? So just be on the lookout. Whenever I throw the link up, just know to click on it, check things out. See how the stove flying. Don't forget it, y'all.